It just so happens that there's a very special connection between the driving forces behind the Moahunters and the reporter on this story, Hikurangi Jackson.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, darling. It's the first time I've ever been addressed like that in an interview.
It's been quite a journey for Moana and the Moahunters. Mum was, and still is, the lead singer. And the man who put the Moahunters together was my dad.
So where do we start?
There are earlier examples of popular music embracing the Marae language, but Moana's was the first time when the popular music was actually popular.
We were authentic and we were being ourselves, you know, we were being proud wahine Māori.
There wasn't very many other people that were doing things that we were doing at the time.
One of the Moahunters came along at a time when we needed a voice or something to tell us that we weren't the losing mongrels that the media continued to perpetuate it.
These are songs for a generation, and a generation of Māori grew up singing these songs.
In the early 80s, Dad was a bouncer and an upcoming manager.
This has been done on a very limited budget, but as I said, we've got through on the aroha of our people, but we hope to do it next year with the support of everybody.
He set up recruiting the best R&B and funk musos he could find with some hot vocalists, Mina Ripia and Tere Moana Rapley.
People could identify with each of us, and I think that's why we were able to resonate with a variety of people.
We had a really good connection mentally, spiritually and all that.
What was the most life-changing moment for you musically?
To growing up and not seeing any Māori role models on radio or TV, I desperately wanted to be black, until the moment when I found myself in a Detroit Baptist church surrounded by like 200 Afro-Americans, and some of them had got up to sing, and they sounded like Beyonce, so that freaked me out. What freaked me out even more was when the minister said, we have a Maori Indian sister here, go and get up to sing. So that was me. As I was walking up there about to have a heart attack, I thought, oh my God, I should sing a Māori song. So that's what I did, and they really loved it. And that was kind of my epiphany.
She was a nightclub singer for a few years, and then I approached Alvanius, and she did Kua Makona back in '86, which went really, really well. So it certainly gave us an idea that, you know, her singing in Māori had some sway, because Kua Makona was a bit of a hit.
From the underground success of Kua Makona, the next step was releasing an album.
Before we did Tahi, we really made Moana and the Moahunters a bit of a national name, and Moana became a national name. So part of the strategy was getting her out in front of the cameras. So between '89 and '93, before the Tahi album came out, she became a national name, probably the most high-profile Māori musician out there, without a doubt.
The album was quite a radical thing for Māori to do in those days. There was hardly any Māori artists who were putting out albums.
We thought we'll go with something commercial so that we could put the band right out the front. Black Pearl did that for us. It went to #2 on the charts and was a big hit for a number of weeks, and had the band all over the New Zealand television screens.
I got a black pearl, she makes my world. I wouldn't leave her no, 'cause she's a real deal. A brown girl, sound girl, we get down.
Black Pearl was the hit. It was a collaboration with Upper Hut Posse, and the album went gold. But they saved the bravest track till last. And that's Ruia Aprehama.
When we were putting the album together, we had to achieve some coherence. So that's where we encouraged her to look into Maori instruments and use of the language.
There's a brilliance to tahi in terms of the fusion of the music. Never heard that before.
To hear that type of chanting and those types of beats together with that type of singing, there wasn't anyone else doing that sort of stuff back then. I hadn't heard anything like that on a popular song in my life.
That was really exciting, and it was one of the last songs to go on the album, and I think that was a little bit of a game changer in dance music.
Black Pearl really appealed to the music industry, but not the other songs. Too Māori, they reckon. That's next.
One of the most powerful radio programmers in Auckland who said it's because it's in a foreign language.
Well, in 2019, it's still not easy for Māori music, but boy, it was hard back in the day. No radio player, real indifference and ignorance from the music industry. Moana and the Moahunters were up against all of that and more.
Black Pearl, pretty little girl. You've been in the background much too long.
Black Pearl was the hit, but Tahi, the album, had a much grittier message. And the music industry was dead set against that.
It shot up the charts. We were surprised, really surprised by that. We were getting all this amazing feedback, and so we thought, well, we'll put out one that we've written about Te Reo. And then nothing. It wasn't played, and we couldn't figure out why, because it was very contemporary. It was really cool. It was working in the clubs and all that. And then someone found someone who heard that it was one of the most powerful radio programmers in Auckland who said it's because it's in a foreign language.
I think there was a resistance without doubt in terms of the reo, but the other side where there was a resistance was in terms of the kaupapa. The kaupapa was about Māori politics. The kaupapa was about Māori reaffirmation, was about mana wahine. It was about, Māori standing up for themselves.
Radio is quite conservative at that time, and it had a bad attitude to New Zealand music.
I thought we recognised the treaty now. Nobody's trying to take the treaty away now, are they?
Well, the treaty is not about just land, property rights, it's about power. It's about control and economics and being able to determine your way of life, and we don't have that now.
But you're getting it. It's coming, isn't it?
Well, so is Christmas.
You didn't resonate with mainstream. One is because they just didn't like what she was saying, didn't like the message. But two, we were infatuated with everyone else's music. It's the kind of music that was played that was Kiwi music wasn't me.
I don't think it's greatly changed. There are some radio stations that come up now and they say, we play Māori language music, and I go, are you still thrashing Poie, or have we moved on to alien weaponry? And they insist that they're tweaking it, but the big ones I know aren't.
Do you ever think what could have happened if you went down that pop star route or that Black Pearl route where you just pumped out all the mainstream hits?
If we'd carried on putting out covers and nice songs that maybe weren't so confrontational about the treaty, or saying to the Crown, do this or do that, or Pākehās pronounce their bloody language properly, then maybe we would have been little pop stars,
Deprived of heritage in the system.
But then that would just be really weird, because all my mates, meanwhile, are pushing the barrow in law or in media or in health or education or being activists. What a waste of limited space just singing, I love you, I love you, I love you, baby. Not as much fun either. We were sort of trying to capture what was going on out there.
But it's come full circle. Just last month, Tahi was honoured as a Kiwi Classic at the prestigious Tate Awards.
It was a love song to our people. And, it was kind of inspired by all the things that we were a part of.
Being part of a group like that and saying something adds to my kete of knowledge and wisdom and understanding.
Made us very proud to be managing a band that was certainly one of the top bands in the country at the time.
I've had a privileged life because of becoming a Moahunter.
It kind of was a bit of a special moment for a lot of people, just seeing Māori women out front, seeing themselves really, because we weren't that visible back in the day. So, you know, everyone could go, oh, that's us, that's us.